Hello, everyone. Testing my mic, making sure we're good. Let's see. Right. I think we're good. Give me 1 second. Yep, we are good. All right, guys. Well, welcome to this belated video of my birthday. Stop by. Glad to see y'all here. If you're here, got chats up. I've got everything rolling. You may hear Stacy's big mouth in the background. Surprised she didn't come in here and say something. Anyway, guys, I wanted to jump on here, and I've been seeing this a lot, and I figured I'd do this on my birthday because, well, uh, life stories always start with your birthday, right? Um, and I'm doing this mainly because I've seen a lot in a couple of groups that I'm in, and I have something to say about it. Uh, you can't start your story without your mom and dad. It's always, your mom and dad. They're the beginning of your life, you know. So I wanted to talk strictly on some things that I've seen. Uh, a lot of people asking about deconverting and deconstruction, and you can't have deconstruction and not have construction afterwards. And so, that's where I sit on things. Uh, I grew up in a somewhat religious family. My nanny was Methodist. My mom, uh, not so much. I've talked about her uh, a couple of times on the channel, um, and I have to put this disclaimer: none of this stuff is, for medical diagnosis or anything like that. But um, mom fell ill in her. They always told me it was about 16, but I'm not for sure what age it was. Um, she came down with rheumatic fever, and her temperature got to 116. And if anybody knows medical stuff, that's dangerous. Um, she also was pulled out of school when she was in fourth grade to um, go take care of my great grandparents. Uh, and so when she was pulled out of school, she was born in 1942. So you think back then, what the education was like. Uh, it was just, you know, she just couldn't help that. Um, and she lost her hearing. Uh, she already had they diagnosed her later on with schizophrenia and some other mental health. And quite honestly, I think it probably was through the whole family, uh, because of the way my grandma acted and way my grandfather, and there's things that really uh, hit with that kind of situation. And but you know, can't really back then. It was the way it was. I know that uh, my nanny had a hard time saying uh, she wasn't going to be institutionalized. That was one of those big things that my family did not do with my mom, and I'm thankful for that, because that right there in itself would have been horrible for my mom. My older brother, um, same situation, kinda, take care of him too, so, uh, I have that. My dad, on the other hand, uh, before anybody gets all huffy and puffy about this, um, I'm one to quick judge my dad because it was my dad and I loved him, and I mean, I really didn't get to know him, um, and with that situation, you don't really get to know because, he passed away when I was 4, uh, cancer, and cancer itself is just it's horrible, um, and having that feeling of doom and gloom over you because it took out all my dad's side of the family, and, I've had gamut tests and everything like that about it, and it used to scare me, and I found out some stuff through DNA and stuff like that, that, uh, I could have been predisposed. I can't say that word. Sorry, guys. Um, anyway, with that kind of, uh, it kinda at the it hung over me for years. Got some answers, and then I found out I had a DNA test of it, found out that I don't carry that gene for it, so that gave me a little bit of hope. Um, but, when you talk about things that are very personal, um, things get hairy real quick, and I've brought this up into a couple of the groups that I'm in, and, uh, people talk about deconstructing their religious or their upbringing and stuff like that, um, and you can't talk deconstruction without reconstructing, and I was I ran across a a welcome on one of the groups, and they were talking about their trauma, and you never really get rid of it. Um, you can you can say it's gone, you can say you have it under control, and then when you think you have it under control, you really don't. Um, and that trauma shows up in a lot of other places, and you can't protect yourself from it, and you sure can't. I mean, I've got kids, and I've talked to them about my upbringing and the things that I saw, the things that I wish I didn't, things that, and that's how it works. And the only way you know what's going on in your life is by for you, sitting down and actually explaining it to yourself is the best way I can think of it. Uh, but sometimes, no matter how much you try to protect yourself from it, or even your kids for that matter, um, it's still gonna affect, no matter how much you try, and no matter how much you think. Um, and you know, it's just difficult, uh, especially when you come out of these very high controlled, um, groups of people. Uh, it's so difficult, guys. It's so difficult, and I'm not saying it's not doable because it's doable. Um, when you fight things and uh, you don't see the true fight that you're fighting. Uh, and I've sat back and I do this on a regular basis. Uh, I just sit back and watch, and you can't say things enough. Um, you can never say all the things that you need to say at once. Um, Life gets sticky sometimes, guys, and sometimes that stickiness uh stays around for a while, and like I said, you never get over it. You never get over pain. You never get over anger. You never get over. There's always going to be something that sets you apart from everybody else. Um, People that's dealt with SA, I have. It's difficult. It's it's not fun and it's not glamorous. And you have to realize also that can't make everybody else happy. It's hard enough to make yourself happy, and it's hard enough to make um, it's just difficult, it really is. Um, and that can be very could be a very long road, but I just wanted to say that there's people out there, and I'm not being sappy with uh, you know, talk to somebody about it, lay your heart out there, because you can only lay your heart out there to a certain amount of people, and the rest of it you can't really determine. Um, and so I've I've been talking about you know religion and spirituality, and here's the thing, guys. I had to take down. Let me move this mic closer. Um, you have to when you deconstruct something. There's always going to be something left over. There's something going to be something in the corner that you hold dear. Um, when I deconstructed it as a Christian, uh, I was looking for who I was, not what everybody else wanted me to be. Uh, and then you finally figure out where you're, where you are. And there's groups of people that don't accept you for what you believe you are, what you've struggled your whole life, and then you found out other things about you. Um, and then there's always someone in that group that turns and makes you bitter towards that. Uh, you know, it's not hard to find out how I believe because I have it posted a lot, and especially on YouTube. Um, you know, I'm very proud of my Native American history, my family history. There's people that don't like that I claim that. Well, I do. I claim my Scott. I it's it's just there's always somebody stating that you're not who you are, or that you're, excuse me for a second, guys. Um, there's always going to be somebody telling you who you are and who you ain't, and they can't make that call. It's not on them. You can and you can try to force yourself into that culture, but you're never gonna sit there and convince everybody. The only person that you need to convince is yourself. And convincing yourself is way more difficult than convincing somebody else, because you have these doubts, you have you have all this different, this person says this person about you, this person, but what do you say about yourself? What do you say? What do you want? What do you care for? What makes you you? And everybody's got a different answer, and everybody's gonna be view you different. Everybody's gonna view whoever different. It is what it is, and you can't control that. All you can do is control you. And I know a lot of us parents, we think we can control our kids. We don't control our kids. We really don't. They're gonna grow up. They're gonna do their thing. They're gonna express their opinions. They're gonna experience whatever they experience. And you can't hold that hand forever. Uh, it's it's so difficult to put into a box of this is how life is supposed to be, and anything outside that box isn't true. Well, it can be true and false at the same time. There is so many different roads and paths and things happen that you can't predict that one to the next. You really can't. And that's why so many people, you know, there's things in my life that I wish wasn't part of it, but being wishing that it never happened doesn't mean that it never happened. And so what do you do with that? It has to have a place somewhere. Eh, it's gonna be, I always say, the dark corner of the house. You know, don't look over there. But that's where everybody's life is. Even yourself, you as your person. There's things that you judge yourself about all the time. I mean, I talk to myself all the time and I get mad at myself all the time. Guys, it's hard. Then you have, and like I said, if you need religion or, something like that, that's that's fine. But remember that somebody else may need a different version of that to make them happy. And that's okay too. There's people that deconvert, there's people that convert, there's people that go from one to the next. And I mean, I see it all the time. People like, I want to know about this religion and this religion and this religion and this. That's all well and good. It's fine. And if you need that, so be it. But you don't need to impose that on somebody else. You just don't. because that in itself makes you look like you think you know it all, and you sure the hell don't. I don't know everything, and I'll be the first one to say it. I don't know it, and I don't. I I may try to figure it out later. Uh, I may try to not. May come back to me years from now. It can make come back to me tomorrow. I don't know. But that's not my. You take what you can, and then the rest of it you throw away, or you give it to somebody else, or it's just the way life is. And I've mentioned this to my kids so many times, and and I hope they take this to heart. I want them to experience life. I want them to experience everything that they want to experience. They may experience it and don't like it. They may experience it and love it. They may, I mean, like we took Stacy to a Renaissance festival this year. She absolutely loved it. Now she wants to do cosplay and all that too. And we want to do that. So, you know, uh, for you people that are, uh, you found out that you were gay or lesbian or, pan or whatever. That's who you are. And you're not going to change other people's minds on it. Now, let me get a little bit of political on you. Okay. I don't give a crap what the people at the White House say. I don't care what the local government says. If I'm obeying by, you know, the criminal laws, the rest of their BS, I don't care about it. They could come knock on my door and say, "Well, you're going to take me in." I don't care because it's always going to be somebody trying to tell you how to live. And guess what? It's not going to work because everybody has opinions. I think if you're not harming someone else, it's with you and your person, and then that's you. All this morality law and telling you who you can love, who you can hate, who you can kiss tonight, it's none of their business. It's none of their business. Um, Second of all, if they want to demonize you for it, there's other people that with you. I mean, I'll I'll go to bat with you. I'll sit right there with you. They arrest them for something, they gotta arrest me for something. And this whole, you know, f freedom of, you know, your choices, you got that freedom. You have those choices. And for them to even think that they can oppose that, it's not gonna happen. Not not to they threaten to do things all the time, but yet they can get away with everything else. That's wrong too. And you can't sit there and tell me, well, I mean, here's my thing. Yeah, I could probably walk into a church and I've told this to a lot of my friends and my family. I could walk back into a church and slide right back in and be a pastor, preacher, a youth minister, and I would be fine with that. I could do it. But that's not who I am. I prefer to be more authentic and open when I'm sitting in a, and I don't know, maybe it's the last few years, and this was part of the reason why I left the church. There's days where I have a horrible mouth. Everything out of my mouth is going to be a cuss word. And every time I walked in the church, I felt like somebody was judging me. But what's weird now is now you have people, go into church and they're cussing like a sailor. And that wasn't, that's something, that I didn't experience. And I was told, you better keep your mouth clean while you're wifey. Um, excuse me for a second, guys. Uh, um, I was taught not to say bad words at church. Well, guess what, guys? My mom did all the time. Part of her, she she didn't get that. She didn't understand that. That's not what she it didn't really bother her because of what she had. Um, but you know, and that's the thing is somebody is always trying to censor somebody, but yet when somebody else does it, it's fine. They can get away with that. They can they can do things that it doesn't matter. Um, but I try to be respectful, and there's days that I don't care about being respectful. I have enough of it, and I've had enough, and I'll say I've had enough. Uh, so there's a lot of things, guys, and I'm not trying to persuade anybody. Um, if you need to deconstruct, if you need to talk to somebody, reach out to me. I don't care if you're trying to reconstruct your life. Come back, come and talk to me. I don't care. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how young you are. I don't care if you're whatever your beliefs are. Tell me, talk to me about them. It doesn't bother me because I can. You can only do so much, and you can only work on yourself. You can't work on someone else. Working on yourself is hard enough, and for you to even think about stepping out of your comfort zone, that's huge. That is huge. And stepping out is hard. It's not easy. Stepping out of whatever, because it's difficult. You get a new haircut and you're going to have people say, oh, I love it. Oh, I hate it. Oh, it makes this. Oh, it makes that. Who cares? Does it make you feel better? Does it make you happy? That's all that matters in the long run, really. So, guys, I know, this may seem like a quick video, and yeah, it was from my mom, or was my dad. Speaking of that, uh, I know I talked about my mom, but I found out that my dad was a huge Swaggart fan. If anybody knows that name, um, and it kind of stood out to me because my brother told me he was. He was that was his favorite pastor, and that man was just evil. Uh, I say evil. Uh, that's probably not the right word to say it. No, it's not. But anyway, uh, me and my dad probably would have issues with that. Uh, you know, whatever his cup of tea was on that, I don't know what, but you know, I could say a lot more. Um, but I wanted to make this video. I didn't know how long it was gonna be or how long it was gonna take. Um, just how I felt about things. Uh, what's coming up next, guys? Like I said, I'm gonna try to get away from the religious stuff. Uh, I'm trying to figure out what some of my really interest me, and like here recently, I've tiki bars and cosplay and things like that. Um, I'm probably gonna be starting to reach out to those communities and try to uh, get some things going. But anyway, guys, uh, appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by. Uh, if you found anything interesting, reach out to me. Uh, I'm I'm here. Uh, reach out to me on Facebook. Reach out to me on YouTube. You can find me. I'm not hidden anywhere. Um, but guys, thank you. Y'all have a good day. Have a good rest of your week. Take care. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones. And we'll see you later.